Welcome to Let's Chat on Plugin India channel. This is a new segment where we show you interesting startups and talk to the people behind them. Just to tell you what's happening in the Indian EV segment, we have with us today Mr. Max Lewis, who is the MD of ChargeGrid, and we're going to talk to him and get to know a little bit about his story, about how he started the company and why. Maxon, welcome to Plugin India.
Thank you, Rafe. Thank you so much for this invitation. My pleasure.
Awesome, Maxon. And we've been chatting with you already, and we know that you're also already into solar photovoltaic systems. Where did the idea for ChargeGrid come from?
Right. So we started actually in 2017, the entire idea that electric vehicles. So from a concept perspective, Magenta believes in clean energy generation, adoption, and utilization. And the utilization concept was always about clean energy solutions for mobility. We always thought of that as one challenge that we need to solve. So way back in 2017, we started doing a lot of analysis, research. So my co-founder Daryl and I have spent enough late nights, early mornings with the e-rickshaw fellows in Delhi, having chai and sutta with them, those kinds. And we did that across Gujarat, Rajasthan. And we decided in 2017 itself that we are going to set up the EV charging infrastructure. And we started to do a lot of research about it. So close to around 8 months of research. And 2018, early 2018 is when we put our foot down and said, hey, we are going to do something about it. And then rest is history in terms of the work that we have done since in 2018 onwards.
That's great to hear. And let's move on a little bit towards the actual product that you're selling right now, which is the ChargeGrid Pro series. We know that you are into mainly AC charging equipment, and that there are two variants of it, which is basically one which is the T2, which has an IEC and a Type 2 adapter, and a 3P, which has a socket and an IEC connector. These seems to be designed to work with all vehicles. Tell us more about the series and what they do.
Sure. So before I go there, Rafe, I also want to reintroduce the solutions, the entire solution platform that we provide. One is hardware, one is software, one is installation services. So we actually have these three business lines. And what we are referring to right now is the products part of it, the hardware side of it. So in the hardware, we realized that you cannot actually take international solutions and then if you use them in India, we need to develop solutions made in India, made for India. And that famous line of mine, heat, humidity, harmonics, and humans. And that's the reason why we need to develop technology made for India. So we invested in developing the AC charging solution. And that's where we are focused on, because we believe that the largest component of charging is not the DC fast charging in the non-commercial space. It is going to be AC charging or slow charging, as many people call it. But that's exactly the real charging. So depending upon the use cases that we found out, we decided to invest in building up a charger, which is under the ChargeGrid brand. And one of the first chargers that we developed was actually the ChargeGrid Pro. The first series of it was actually a 3-pin charger, but we have actually moved away from it. But what you now know as ChargeGrid Pro is a smart charging unit. And it has a 3-pin IEC option and a Type 2 option. And request we also make a 3-pin option in that, but largely it's IEC and a Type 2, with IEC being a gun and a Type 2 being a socket on the charger. So this is how we have two versions of it. We call it either the T2 or the 3P. The 3P is on request, but largely we would want to focus on the Type 2 and the IEC charger. Now, some important things about this charger. This charger does not even have a switch on it. So these are smart chargers. It's not something where you go and interact with the charger or press some switch on it. You just need to dock it to your vehicle and then use the ChargeGrid app. Or in many cases, we have also working with other companies where they have used the ChargeGrid as a white label solution. And through the app, you can actually start the charger. So this has something called as a location system, in which if you were to ever move that charger from a specific location 50 meters away from it, the geofencing will move in and actually kind of make the charger redundant. So this is from a vandalism perspective. coming from a safety aspect, from a specs perspective, I'm very sure people are going to go through the specs, but just a few more points there. This has actually voltage, high voltage, low voltage safety systems, high current, undercurrent safety systems. It also has a earthing monitor. So there's a constant monitoring which is happening. Because as a proponent, as a company which has been backed by HPCL and Shell, safety becomes important for us. And what we are realizing it. We need to propagate safety in our charging infrastructure from the beginning itself. And happy to say that this is a couple of installations already in progress, and a lot of Hyundai Kona users actually use those chargers to charge as well.
Now, a little bit about the connectivity part of it. How does ChargeKit Pro work? Does it have a Wi-Fi module or a SIM card in it?
Right. Uh, all the ChargeGrid chargers have multiple internet connectivity options. By default, they come with a SIM card option, which is already inbuilt into the system, and it has an antenna system to pick up the network. Also, alternatively, you can choose to give it a internet connectivity through a wired connection. But those are options, but the default option is always a SIM card option, because we believe that the SIM card based system, you're trying, see, charging, everyone needs to understand there are a lot of external factors. The lesser you move away from those external factors, it becomes better. One of the external factor was internet, and the moment you get wired solution, there's always this thing about a snip here and there, and the entire our promise to deliver charging becomes questionable. So that's the reason why we've gone into a complete unit which is self-sufficient by itself. You just put it up, put the wires, put the basic safety, and you are up and rolling. So that's the way we have structured the charger.
Wow, that's more or less taking care of the Indian environment and conditions. You have another product which we found very interesting, which is a street light, which also doubles up as a charger, called the ChargeGrid Flare. Tell us about this project. Did your team do a lot of market research for this? Where do you think it will be useful?
So Rafael, yes, this is an interesting product. First thing first, it's FLARE as in the flare as in light, and this I give credits to Daryl for this name. And yes, a lot of research. More than the research, we try to identify a problem, and the problem that we realized in EV charging is the fact that real estate is an issue. One of the things that also we realize is the street lamps all across, be it parking lots, be it fuel pumps. And fortunately, we had HPCL as a partner with us on this. So we worked together and we developed this charging solution, which is the ChargeGrid Flare. We integrated the charger inside the street lamp. That way, you don't need to separately install a charger. The moment you replace a normal street lamp with this, with the ChargeGrid Flare, you also have the light, plus also you have the charging infrastructure right there. Now the problem, it's a beautiful solution, and so what it does is it kind of solves that one small problem of real estate, separate dedicated space. And let's take examples, like if you have a parking lot for that matter, and parking lots typically have a light solution or a lamp solution over there, be it colleges, schools, or even open parking. All that you have to provide is this solution, and you enable that parking lot to become an EV charging station. And also this street lamp charger that we have is an IEC socket at this point in time with a Type 2 option. So it allows for two-wheeler charging, three-wheeler charging, or a four-wheeler charging. Now, fortunately, the ChargeGrid Flare has got a lot of interest because it's a very unique solution. And it's currently being deployed under a couple of pilots. Close to 1 year of research has gone into it. Research including not only the fact that you have to research about the charger, but you have to do a lot of research about the street lamp concept as a whole. There are some standards of street lamps which have been identified by the government, and you have to integrate a charger platform into a street light platform. To be honest, it was not easy. It's not about just putting up that entire electronics into that street lamp. Basic structural integrity was an issue. Including small issues, not small issues, they are real big issues. Actually, when you enclose it into a metal frame, there's a lot of radiance related issues. There's a lot of interference related issues. So it took a lot of effort from our side and our team to get this sorted. So all of this has been sorted right now, and pilots are already underway. And we have moved on to the end of the pilot now. It's about launching this into existing fuel stations and parking lots now. And you'll hear about it very soon. Some instances where we have already installed.
Awesome. And just to give this an idea, is this something that can be retrofitted into an existing street lamp, or does the product include a street lamp as well?
The product includes a street lamp and the charger into the street lamp. And good question there, Rafe, is we also thought whether we can retrofit this into an existing street lamp. But we realized that there are about 6 different variants of street lamp, of a standard street lamp that you see on the road. Earlier, they used to be round and it became hexagonal and other shapes and forms. Also, the kind of cut that is required is very different. And more importantly, the moment you try to make any changes to the structure of the street lamp, there's a lot of structural integrity issues. This is a roadway infrastructure, right? It's out there in the public. You cannot risk any structural elements to it. So no, at this point in time, you cannot retrofit into the street lamp. You need to replace that street lamp. But the answer is, if you ever want to retrofit, all that you have to do is go to the ChargeGrid Pro, you use that with clamps and put it on an existing street lamp. That way, both the solutions exist. But the street lamp by integrated charger is an integrated full solution, including the street lamp.
Right. And also, we know that ChargeGrid is working with housing societies and apartment buildings. Can you share a little bit with our viewers?
Yes, indeed, Rafe. We are doing some interesting work in that space as well, because one of the challenges we realized for the adoption of electric vehicles is the simple question. I stay on the 17th floor of a building. Even if I buy an electric vehicle, where will I charge? I have one parking lot. And are you telling me that I need to put up a charger specifically for my car? So we found that the adoption of electric vehicles in the four-wheeler space is largely going to be in an urban area. And urban area, real estate, especially parking, is a problem. So now you put another problem on top of it, is EV charging. So how do you solve it? So we approached a lot of housing societies, and we are already having pilots underway, where we are offering ourselves as a charging solution provider, wherein we go and install the chargers in their common areas. And it allows not only for one individual, but any one of the individuals in that housing society to come and use that charger. But this requires a lot of integration, not only from a hardware perspective. There are a lot of legal issues to it, because you're not now talking to one person, you're talking to an entire building, and not everyone uses an EV. So there are all those discussions, all those things, all those models that need to fall in place before we launch it. But yes, there's a lot of pilots which are already underway in multiple cities. And sooner than we will be absolutely launching this as a platform, supported by our hardware and the software as well.
And tell us a little bit more about the billing. Who's going to pay for it? Is there a dedicated meter for the society?
Right. Now, this is where the interesting fact about the legality of charging arrives over here. And we realized that the parking lots typically are under the authority of the committee for that building. So when we set up these chargers, largely we have a dedicated EV billing meter. We install it. We do not take it from the main lines. We install it as a separate dedicated EV billing meter. And that allows, one, from a subsidized cost as well. Second, it allows for a kind of not tapping into the existing meter, which is common to everyone in the building. So we identified that these are some of the issues. Now, how does the payment network? So we have the charging app through which the entire payment happens. So here it's a subscription-based model in which we work with the housing society. We allow for the housing society to work with us. We install it. And the payments are actually done by the user. So the time he consumes the electricity, he pays for it. And we worked out a model in which there is not a big, in fact, the model allows us for the EV user to charge his car at almost equal to the same price that he would have charged his car if we were to use his normal parking or a normal charger at his parking location. So these are some of the models that we have worked on.
Currently, most EV users have their own individual meters, which they use, and their points are set up in their parking area, and that results in messy wiring all around. So having common EV charging is definitely a good idea.
Oh, absolutely it is. Unless otherwise we will end up in the same state of affairs. Couple of years ago, if you remember, cable TV came in multiple wires around their societies. And there, at least, there was no safety issue. Here in EV charging, we are dispensing high energy. You better have the right systems and infrastructure in place. And India is a place where adoption, is going to be fast. So might as well set the right protocols, the right way of doing it, rather than the easier way of doing it.
Right.
Because otherwise, people will adopt the most easiest way, which may not be right. So I think if we were to develop this as a solution, then all the new buildings, of course, and also the existing buildings, we can find a dedicated common areas where people can come to charge. And this also does one important thing. You are actually reducing electronic waste, if I were to call it, because as a company in the clean energy space, instead of having multiple chargers which is used once a day by one user, you are now allowing for that same charger to be used by multiple people. So there's a lot more problems that are being solved in this than just the charging infrastructure, in the way we have kind of at least designed it and deployed it for the pilots.
Right, it's shared infrastructure. So that's really awesome. This is a fantastic attitude, Maxon. And tell us a little bit more about the software features the products that we've been talking about.
Right. So ChargeGrid is an app which was launched in 2018, late 2018. This software was fully integrated even when it was launched. It allows people to identify the nearest charging station. It also allows you to block it. At this point in time, we have not kept the blocking feature on because right now there are not so many electric vehicles, but it already exists in that software. We have disabled it for now. Once you have charged, the entire payment gateway is already enabled. So you have your credit card, you have your everything except cash. It's already all of that is already modeled into it. And we already have done we have a couple of users on this platform, and this is already underway. Very interestingly, this software is also enabled not only for an individual user. We have a lot of commercial users who are using this platform now, and this allows them to also track what's happening with their charging of the multiple vehicles that they have. So it's not only a front-end app. It's not only we also have a remote monitoring system. We have a centralized remote monitoring system which tells us what's happening to every charger wherever we have installed. And the third part is we also offer that monitoring capabilities to users, multiple vehicle users. So this is the entire platform that is built. So we have next stage is also for the ability to do a lot of analytics and other things. But at this point in time, it's a full feature app for identifying a charging station, blocking it, charging it, and paying for the charging sessions.
Right. It seems to be a comprehensive solution, Max. Let's talk a little bit about public charging. And ChargeGrid here has already done a little bit of good work. And many of our EV community members have used the Mumbai-Pune charge point that you set up, and at Navi Mumbai and Lonavala as well. And the experience has been great till now. Tell us about your company's public charging initiative and how many chargers are up and operational as of now.
Sure. Thanks for those kind words. I wish we could have done a lot more at the Lonavala charging station in terms of the look and feel and all of that. And I'll be upfront about it. See, I mean, we are into a new industry. It's about making charging. At this point in time, we are trying to make sure the issue of availability is solved. Then you're going to get into the optimization and other things. So yes, the Mumbai-Pune Expressway has been a great experience. And I also want to use your platform to announce that along with HPCL, there are a couple of other charging stations which are coming up on the way. So the Bombay-Pune highway is probably going to be that one highway you're not going to have one DC charging, but multiple DC charging platforms all the way from Mumbai to Pune. And that's very soon that's happening. Unfortunately, because of the lockdown, otherwise one of these 13. So you know about the 13th rule for us, right? Every 13th of every month, we have something new coming. So, so that's how. Otherwise, it would have been one of these 30, so we would have launched it. But now coming to the number of charging infrastructure that we have, we work with a two-model approach. One model is where we are doing a city-wise approach, and then we are doing pilots. So we have charging infrastructure in Mumbai, focused around Navi Mumbai. We have charging infrastructure in Pune. We have in Hyderabad, and we have in Chandigarh. But we also have pilots running at this time in Ahmedabad. We have it in Nasik. We have it in Kerala. We have it in Bangalore and a couple of other locations. Those pilots are going on, but in total we have around 54 charging infrastructure points that we say, and each charging infrastructure may have one or more charging chargers. So that's how we are currently structured. To be honest, we're still, every day is a learning curve for us in terms of how the same charging experience, the charging experience is different in Pune and different in Mumbai and different in Punjab or in different in Bangalore. So we are learning on the way, and each state requires a very unique model. And then as we get that right in each state, we are going to launch it out. We have a very clear mandate for this year: 500 charging points or charging stations by the end of this financial year. And we are actually on track to do that. A lot of work has already happened underway, and you'll soon hear a lot of new charging points coming up and operational very soon. In a few weeks, as soon as the lockdown is open, in a few weeks we'll have those charging stations up and running.
All right. Now, finally, the question that comes to most enterprising people is, can they be a part of this as well? So, are you offering dealerships to expand your pan-India presence? And if someone wants to take up a dealership, what is the process? How should they get in touch with you?
Sure. I would want to rephrase that, because at this point, a dealership concept, we are not calling them dealership, because the moment you call it a dealership, you're absolutely
Right.
into it for making money. I mean, let's be honest about it. Dealership is a model for helping others make enterprises make money. At this point of the EV is more partnerial than dealership. So we call them as business partners. And there's absolutely
Right.
an offer in place. We are looking for partners who intend to get into this space of EV charging. We are happy to provide you the solutions of hardware, software, installation services, and also designs as well. And you can hop onto a platform, be part of it, be part of that journey. Very simple. All that you have to do is drop an email to sales.support@magentapower.in. I repeat, sales.support@magentapower.in, or give us a call on our toll-free number, and we will make sure that someone gets back in touch with you. We are available on all platforms, social media platforms, and we respond to them as well. So get in touch with us. We will help you become part of the entire EV charging infrastructure.
Awesome, Maxon. That's very good to hear. I think a lot of people are going to be very happy to hear about the partnership model. It's a new way of looking at things. We want people who are passionate and dedicated to EVs, and then they also want to be enterprising. With that, we come to an end of the scripted questions. Now, we'd like to open it out to the community, Maxon. There are a few people who want to ask you a few questions. So, should I go ahead with that?
Oh, absolutely, Rafe. Please.
All right. So here's the first question from Mr. Piyush Jain from Dehradun. And he asks, I have been studying the charging station market and I like what your team is doing. What is the cost of the ChargeGrid Pro series?
Right. So the ChargeGrid Pro series has multiple formats. Like I said, it's either a Type 2 or a T3 charger. So depending upon the kind of formats that you have, it is around 38,000 rupees. Please get in touch, and plus taxes extra. Get in touch with our team and they will be able to send you the quote as well. But I just want to sound off this to everyone. Many people think of charging as only the charger. Also think that you should use the best wiring possible to enable that charger. Not many people consider that cost in their entire charging infrastructure. Just be aware of it, right? And it's quite a considerable cost. So put all of that together before you, while you do your estimations on the charging. But I hope I've answered your question. The AC
yes,
chargers.
Yes, and that's a good point made as well. We need to make sure that standards are up and specifications are followed. So thanks for that, Maxon. Another question we have is from Mr. Anil Mehta in Mumbai, who says, if I get a Tata Nexon EV for my office and I use a ChargeGrid Pro T2 to charge the Nexon EV at my office and or at home, can I use solar power for my Nexon EV? The Tata Nexon has a 30 kilowatt hour battery pack, he says. So what should the rating of my solar power system be? And what would there be any issues using the ChargeGrid Pro T2?
Perfect. You're talking to a person and a company which has set up India's first solar-based EV charging station. So go for it, go for solar, but let me help you how to break this down. So what happens is a typical, very simple thumb rules. If you are dispensing 30 kilowatt of energy into the vehicle, typically solar runs for 4 hours a day. Okay? So you divide 30 by 4 and you've got your typical answer. It's around 7.5, 8. It was a 32. Yeah, 8. Sorry, you need to edit that.
Yeah.
But okay. So the thumb rule is very simple. Solar works for 4 hours a day, typically. So you just divide the number of units that you want to be dispensed, divided by 4. So 30 divided by 4. So any power plant which is at 10 to 12 kilowatt, you put it up, you are able to generate enough power to power your charger. But now here's the catch as well. A solar cannot be directly infused into the charger. It needs to run through the grid. So you can use the concept of metering at this point in time. And till such time, we have developed the battery-based solution as well, which is coming very soon. And I'm very sure after you're going to ask me that question as well. But anywhere between set up a 10 to 15 kilowatt plant, and you can hand on heart say that you have generated all the power going at least with the electric vehicle using your solar. Just one point, solar is not as easy as it sounds. There's a lot of design factors, be it shading, inclination. Do consider all of that. Otherwise, you may end up investing in solar which is not optimized. We believe in optimizing all the solutions, including your solar. And great. And do look out for our next solution, which is going to be a battery-based solution as well. Awesome. Because right now you need a an integration into the grid. Going ahead, even that may not be required.
So right now it's a grid connected solution as well. I mean, you're basically offsetting what you generate by what you consume from the grid. And you got an interesting product in the pipeline, which is going to be like a Powerwall.
Right. So yeah, you're right. So it's essentially generating power when the sun is out there, putting it back to the grid and consuming it in the evening when you have your car docked into the charger. But as far as the charger is concerned, it's irrespective whether it is solar or till the time you're giving it AC power from the grid or through a solar integrated grid, it works.
Awesome. Thank you, Maxon. And that brings us to an end of the community questions as well. So thank you very much for being with us. We really enjoyed talking to you and getting to know insights and finding out how ChargeGrid is progressing. We look forward to more good news from you soon.
Thank you so much. I wish Plug-in India all the very best. You're doing a great job. Keep up the good work. Spread the message. Clean mobility it is.
Awesome. Thank you. Take care.